Click the first link in the description for the best Askreddit content. Today I fucked up by wearing a mask at school. I live in the UK and schools opened yesterday. Me being sensible wore a mask although my county has very low COVID cases. Sadly my classmates do not think it's sensible or even safe to wear a mask all day. School's gone through very difficult measures to keep pupils safe. Sadly the heavily crowded corridors and students worried about social status have put it to waste. This isn't a dig on the school, just pupils. Now we get to the result of wearing a mask. Constant questions and odd stares, even light bullying just because I wore a mask. People keep trying to remind me that you don't need to wear a mask. I'm not sure if I'm an idiot, but surely wearing a mask isn't weird or anything like that. The result is that now other people that only wore masks in lesson or for brief periods of time don't wear them at all. I've decided that I'm going to keep wearing a mask and follow COVID rules. Too long didn't read, was the only person wearing a mask at school and now getting bullied. Sounds like you are the only one not making a mistake. Don't let idiots make you feel bad for being a responsible person. I had a friend who wrote a full suit and tie to school every Friday. It started as a stunt to impress a girl, but then he kept doing it. It became a thing. Started to be recognized as suit kid. Be that kid. Be confident. Make it a thing, and when people ask why you're doing it, take the time to explain that it costs you nothing, but it helps keep people safe. Do what it takes for you to feel safe. Don't let others' bullying stop you from doing what you believe is correct. You're going to go far with the attitude and mindfulness you have. Grow everyone else. My cousin from the UK legit said you're breathing in carbon dioxide when you wear a mask, and it's been proven not to work. Thank you for wearing a mask. That just be why there is such a shortage of surgeons. Just think, there's 5 to 6 people on a surgical team, sometimes doing 5 to 6 hour surgeries. They all die after from carbon monoxide poisoning. Anyone who ever had life-saving surgery better be grateful a room of people died to save you. Today I fucked up by unknowingly attending a gay furry orgy. Obligatory, this didn't happen today since it was a year ago, and there ain't a lot of orgies happening due to COVID. I'm pretty nerdy and kinda weird at times, but overall I'm a pretty normal dude that blends in with the average populace. However, because of my nerd proclivities and being a non-judgmental person that loves characters, I have an eclectic group of friends and am very furry adjacent. After a move to a bigger city, I discovered there's a large, annual furry convention that happens to be quite popular among locals, both furry and not. First year I went was fairly uneventful, but I met a lot of great people and learned a lot about some of my friends. Second year I went, this is where the fuck up comes into play. I show up to the convention center, excited to see and be around all the furries. I meet up with people I know, I wander around, I snap pictures, I look at lots of interesting and weird things, and of course I can't help but be fascinated by all the weird sex stuff and furry bondage gear tucked away in the corners. Then I get a text from a friend of mine that lives within a few blocks of me. I wasn't expecting to see her, because she's a workaholic, and told me she didn't have time to come. She wanted me to find some good ears and a tail for her in the vendor room, and send her some pics. Of course I find things exactly to her taste, and further unexpectedly, she shows up. She's manic, all over the place. I have fun just watching her bounce around everywhere and be a complete weirdo. That's her best trait to me. Turns out that her brother is a full-on furry, suit and all, and attends this convention every year. It's a tradition that they get together and drink in his room each year. So obviously, we have to go find him and coordinate a time to go get slushed. We find him in the game room, in the middle of a card tournament. He's not in suit. This guy, appearance-wise, is your stereotypical neckbeard. But he didn't have the matching personality. Pretty chill guy. My friend asks, hey, can we come up to your room later and drink? Her brother looks at me, but addresses her. I'm talking, looking directly into my eyes to determine if I'm a cop he's trying to buy H from, kinda stare. He says very plainly, your friend's not a prude, is he? This should have been my clue, and it kinda was, but at the same time I'm game for adventures of all kinds because I love a good story. We make a plan to meet in his hotel room after the furry dance contest. Me and my friend go about our day, doing various con-related things. We split at one point, and I go about watching the furry dance contest, which is an experience in and of itself. Then my friend shows back up, and the fateful time has arrived. We go to her brother's room, are greeted by someone wearing a partial fursuit with no head, say hi to her brother who is mixing drinks at a nearby desk, and notice roughly 5 other people in this double queen bedroom. Someone in a full fursuit is snuggling with someone of indeterminate gender on one bed, the other bed is empty, and people are standing/sitting around talking. My friend grabs a drink from her brother, then I sit on the bed across from him. He looks at me and says, "Alright, I have questions." I ask these questions of anyone I hang out with at a con like this. First, what's your kink? Look, of all the available ice cream flavors, I'm a big fan of vanilla. I'm very well versed on the fetish world though, entirely different story. Like I said, I love a good adventure, but my mind goes blank and I kinda stammer. I'm not. I try to get out. Let's just say butt stuff. He interrupts, and I nod, because who doesn't like a little butt play now and again? The questions come fast and furious, as I'm sure our patron did later. I grab my drink, and sit in a chair next to my friend who's sitting on the floor. She's completely engrossed in her phone, drinking away. So I start to talk to the guy sitting in a chair to my left. "Hey, so what's your fursona?" I ask. This guy smirks and replies it's a horse, for reasons here. Of course I laugh and we strike up a conversation. He gets up to leave for a few. Others enter and others leave. Introductions, various party chat, etc. etc. Another guy with scraggly facial hair and glasses takes the chair horse sat in. I ask the same question, and his answer is much more mundane and expected. Now, here's where things start going sideways. People start getting a little closer on the other bed. My friend's brother decide to join them. I look at my friend, who's maybe a quarter into her second drink, still only paying attention to her phone. In hindsight, this should have been yet another clue. I decide it's time for drink number 2. People start getting handsy on the other bed. Keep in mind, these are all guys, most are doughy, geeky, wearing various fur pieces, and still that one person in the full suit. Before long I hear the unmistakable of a vibrator. I look, and they broke out a fucking Hitachi. The guy I've been talking to with the scraggly beard has been glancing over repeatedly for a few minutes. Then he gets up, says I'm gonna go join them, and joins the pile of people on the bed. At this point only me and my friend are not on or around that bed on the far side of the room. My friend is still fully absorbed in her phone, drink slowly being drained, while I watch this mass of people slowly writhing on the opposite bed. I try to focus on my phone. Browse some Reddit. Check out social media. But I can't keep from glancing. It's like a train wreck, and I can't look away. Then my new scraggly bearded friend stands up and announces, I have to take my pants off. And the dicks start coming out. Let me tell you, if you're a male in need of a confidence boost, attend a gay furry orgy. I look over at my friend again, still drinking her cup, still fully engrossed in her phone, and ask, "Hey, what you up to? You want to finish that drink?" And receive some non-answer in response. I stare into my own cup, which is like 70-30 alcohol and mixers, so I can't just down what's left. Fuck it, let's ride this out for a few minutes. Next time I glance up, I'm face to face with a micro penis. Neither he nor I acknowledged a thing, but he grabbed something and returned to the pile. Our new friend horse makes an appearance, and I'm not gonna lie that I was interested to see if his boasting was hollow or not. Spoiler, he was a normal above average dude, but was a king among peasants in this room. That's when my friend snapped directly to me and says, I want to go to the rave. And we made our exit. Horse pulled up his pants and left with us to go to the furry rave. Met up with a few other friends, a few of them took some ecstasy, and off to the rave they went. That sort of thing has never been my scene, so I hung outside of the rave until 3 AM chatting with other furries, drinking an Everclear mixture, and occasionally excusing myself to take a couple hits of my THC vape. No matter how hard I tried to forget that night, it's seared into my brain forever. Too long didn't read, went to a con party to drink. Left with permanent mental scars and a good story. Addendum, that friend had a birthday party recently, and her brother had come into town for this event. The very first words out of his mouth to me were, "I know how to throw a party, huh?" Edit, 'cause I'm bad at words. I got into the first paragraph, knowing what was coming, but I couldn't stop reading. That was awful. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. Not gonna lie, had to reread through a couple times cause a couple witty one-liners and puns went over my head the first time. I was so engrossed in seeing how far the train wreck went. Also makes me wonder how many furry orgies your friend was witness to before finally becoming so numb to the experience she can have that much nonchalance towards one now. Thanks for the laugh. My brother and I have a very unconventional relationship. A gay furry micro-penis orgy. FTFY. Horse was a king among peasants. Haha. I commend you for being so open and chill. The world would be a better place with more people like you in it. Thanks. Everyone's path is different, and the world is so much less interesting if you only expose yourself to a limited amount of experiences. I was raised around rednecks to be one, actual rednecks, but a few lessons really stuck with me. Most notably, let people live their damn lives. Today I fucked up double on a bike ride. So this actually happened last week, but I just thought about it now and decided to post it. I'm currently in online school, and it's boring as heck. My friend is doing online too, and since we were both done with our work, she invited me to go on walk. I agreed, and my mom dropped me off at her house. After chatting for a while, we decided we should go on a bike ride. I'm not a very experienced biker, but it can't be that hard, right? Wrong. First FCK up, her younger sister agreed to let me use her mountain bike. As we were pulling them out of the garage, I stood mine up on the wrong side, and the cassette dug into my leg. It bled pretty bad, so that's gonna leave a gnarly scar. But the cut wasn't hurting too bad, so we just put a band-aid on it and left. Second FCK up, we decided that we were gonna bike to the cemetery and back. For context, I live in the foothills of a mountain, so we have a lot of hills. Her house was pretty far up in the hills, while the cemetery was much lower. So we make our way down to the cemetery, and I'm kinda tired by the time we get there. Start sipping on my water bottle as we look around at all the headstones. Now, I had had almost nothing to eat that day. I had had cereal, a 16 ounces soda, and now this water. So I didn't have a lot in my system. And the ride to the cemetery was downhill, but the way back, all uphill baby. So we start making our way back, and I'm exhausted. I really hadn't gone on a bike ride in a long time. My friend is cool, so she was okay going slow with me. Eventually we get to the bottom of a big street and sit for a minute. I apologize for being so bad at this, and we just chat. I wasn't feeling very good, though. My stomach was hurting bad. After a couple minutes we get going again, but we haven't gone 10 yards before this conversation happens. Me, I think I'm gonna throw up. My friend, oh. Let's sit for a second. Me, hold up a finger telling her wait for just a second. Calmly, I walk over to a garbage can on the street, and proceed to throw up 4 times. Me, looking back at my friend, I just did a back thing, smiley face, thumbs up. My poor friend was shocked. She didn't think I was serious because of how calmly I was behaving. We ended up waiting for a couple minutes so I could rest, and then walking back to my house, which was closer. Her mom came and picked up the bike I was using. I'm so glad I was with that particular friend, though, because if it had been anybody else I would have been mortified beyond belief. Too long didn't read. I went on a bike ride with my friend on a stomach of nothing but liquids. Cut my leg on the bike cassette, and threw up in a stranger's garbage can on the way home. Edit, my leg got cut on the cassette, not the gear. I don't know bikes, you guys. That's why this even happened. Woman face palming. Oh yeah man, bring an energy bar or something with you next time. Biking rips through the calories. kinda curious too if mountain bike gearing is different than road bike gearing. Never bothered to look into it before. I don't know anything about biking and all of these comments are confusing me. Smiley face, crying face. This post makes me sad in so many ways. Don't get too sad, we all fuck up eventually. I don't know how to even ride a bike, so the thought of biking down a hill is terrifying to me. Biking downhill is actually fun, because you get to go fast. You just cruise. Going uphill, though, that's true pain. This reminds me of a time me and two of my friends went on a huge bike tour through town. Friend 1 and I are quite fit and do a lot of exercise and biking together, but the friend 2, well, this was probably the first time he had done any physical activity in maybe a literal year. It was really slow going and we went 7 or 8 kilometers to another mate's house. Then we biked back a different route around 10 kilometers. Luckily we didn't kill him, but we ended up pushing him ahead of us on the way back lol and felt so bad about it. Best bit though was as we were pushing friend 2 along, friend 1 overstretched at great speed and flew into a rubbish bin. Overall I think in the end it was good for him. Haha. That's awesome, smiley face.